Hi everybody, it's Kara and I wanted to show you my next steps in my altered book project. So in the first video I showed you how I prepped the book itself. This one I'm going to show you how I prepped the pages and planned the pages. So as I mentioned in the first video, I have a backup book in case I manage to destroy this one. And you can see that the pages are really cute. They're kind of a creamy off-white color, probably somewhat due to their age. But I didn't want that to be the only color you saw, so I wanted there to be a little bit more on the page. So I went through with some Lindy Stamp Gang and some acrylics, and I alternated on a lot of the pages, just swiping on color, spraying on color, primarily using a couple different colors of green, some blue, and yellow and brown. And I just did little bits and pieces, little bursts and little swipes of color here and there. My intention is, once I get the pattern paper on here, so for example, when I put some pattern paper here, probably even a little bit larger, you're only going to see a little bit of it. You won't see the whole page, but I wanted there to be some color behind it. So I prepped all the pages that way. I got them to where they were pretty much dry, and then, as a lot of paper does, it got just a little bit wrinkly, so I put it under a whole bunch of other books and flattened it all out so the pages are nice and smooth again. I don't have to worry about that. And then I got to the planning of the pages. So what I did is I first decided all of the things that I wanted in the book. I wanted some before you were born pictures, some in the hospital, meeting everybody for the first time, in the hospital, and all of the first, maybe some holiday pictures, things like that. I decided to break the book into sections. It's going to have 4. Some in the hospital pictures, some basics, which are going to be like doctor visits and how much the baby weighs and the height and all that at those different visits. Holidays and firsts. So then I went through my book and I counted how many pages I had, which ended up being about 52 pages if you include the inside of the front and back of the covers. And I drew out 52 pages like so. So then I could decide how many pages were going to be for each of the things that I had on my list, get the sections figured out in the order I wanted, and that way it should make it a lot easier for me to decorate. So for example, I said I wanted 4 sections. I have the front covers. Those are all, there's going to be, starting at the front covers, about 4 pages of pictures before you were born. I'm thinking that it would be, the family before and all that good stuff. And then this set of pages is going to have a picture of mom at about 9 months pregnant. Remember I said I really liked that page in here that says just before we begin, so that's where I'm envisioning that. And the reason you don't see anything right here is because I thought this was just an adorable little picture right there, so I'm not planning on covering it up. So as I planned some of these, I did look through the book to kind of see what I was dealing with on the page. Then I have the section that's first, which is in the hospital. Some just born pictures, the weight and height, meeting mom and dad, more in the hospital pictures, me meeting the baby, and my brothers in the hospital pictures again, and then meeting grandparents. Because I figure, if I remember way back in the day when I had my kids, I took a ton of pictures of them when they were in the hospital, of everyone coming to visit them and meeting them for the first time. So I wanted a good several pages for all of that information. And then we get to a shorter, smaller section, I guess I would say, of just the basics, the first 3 doctor's visits. And of course, not only will these have room for pictures, but it'll have some journaling spots there too. And it'll probably date, someplace to put the date. I haven't figured that one out yet, but someplace. And then the third section, which will probably be the longest, is all of the firsts. And these aren't necessarily the headings or titles. This is just, my kind of outline. So I have a couple pages for the first home, because they actually just bought their first home shortly before the baby's born, and then the first room for the baby, first bath, tummy time, first smile, sitting up, first food, crawling, first tooth, and then standing and walking. And then you get to the last section, which would be holiday. And you'd have Halloween and Christmas, because I think for a baby those are the big 2. I'm not going to do all of the holidays of the year. And then the very last 2 pages of the book, the back of book cover, will be family pictures of all of them together. And that's kind of how I envision it and how I'm going to plan the pages. So if I put any headlines or sentiments or titles or anything like that on there, that's kind of what I'm looking at. So if you have any questions on any of that, I'm just kind of figuring this out as I go. Leave them down below and I'll try and help you out. The next stage will probably be putting some of the pages together, or the sections. I haven't decided which yet, but I mean, at least I'm making progress, right? So thanks for watching, guys. As always, if you have any questions, leave them down below, and I hope you're having a great day wherever you're at. Bye!